cardinal points of the CGC, immediately when he assumed office, was consolidation, collaboration, transformation, and me, I always add the synergy. So I think you are not far from, you are not far from what you just mentioned, because it's something he had already promised immediately when he came on board, and we are looking at it and we are seeing it every day playing around. The MOU you are talking about is a result of his consolidation that he mentioned, because already this started. I could remember that when I was on Papa as Deputy Controller Enforcement, we were discussing on how do we go out and destroy some content as well. We had about 100 and something that period. We begin to look at the number. I think I was part of that committee. We brought the numbers. We make sure we verify. After the verification, we make sure that these things are actually what are supposed to go in without litigation or without being empty or otherwise. I could remember that period. So even when he came on board, he said, no, there is already an existing process. He wants to still continue with those process, not only with NAFDAC, but with any other agency. I assure you, the number one, who happens to double as the chairman, CC, that's Council of Customs Worldwide, is still on top of the game. And I could remember when you were mentioning Port Harcourt, we are in the airport. He said, please, FOU, go immediately, madam might be there waiting for me. And which, of course, that happens. When we arrived there, she was already an hour or so earlier before even our arrival there. They boarded the same chopper, with the same craft too. We went to Port Harcourt, and then it's just the same MOU. And I could remember there was a time we wanted to hand over some substance here. Immediately when we now communicate headquarters, they said no. NAFDAC has to be involved. And immediately I now had to put a call across to NAFDAC, and my brothers from the NAFDAC, that time you are not the one, he's not the person, came around. I think whether my Oga here and some other people came around that day. So we'll continue that with that process, the collaboration, the synergy. I'll assure you, as we are coming, we said, okay, let's arrange, even if it is, no matter how little it is, we can still give you something pending when we now continue with it, because we have more. And the only thing why we cannot is just because since it's coming, it's not like you say you have visited my house. I don't have anything to give you, but I have. So we are going to give you this. As time goes on, we'll continue to invite you. You continue to collect from us. Or better still, if you want to do it at once, then when the CGC comes around, because we have some other things to showcase that period, probably we'll just add up the whole thing that we have on ground. Having done our inventory, we'll now hand over everything to you. And I could still remember this synergy and collaboration you're still mentioning. When I was in the warehouse, I was a chief superintendent then. That was as far back as 2008, 8 or 9. There are some these things that were also handed over at that time. I have forgotten that person's name. We did the same collaboration. We'll continue to do it. I assure you, whatever that you are enjoying from the top, we at the cadre here will also continue to do it, because we have no anywhere to go. Our youths are all over, and we need to bring them together. And apart from even we are not talking about substandard drugs only. What about the food? Don't you mention one can just poison the whole of society and they will go. Because by the time you give them an expired food, consumable, or expired anything you think of, or otherwise substandard, I think you are wiping a whole nation. Because all of us will take it, because recently I was made to understand, is it chloramphenicol? No, not chloramphenicol, ampicillin or amoxicillin. That I think most of that in the shop today are always bearing the same fate of being substandard or faked kind of. I don't know where we are going, like you mentioned. But what do we do? Anybody can decide to do whatever trade he wants to do. Only
exercise. The DG, after briefing, had insisted that this has to be continuous exercise, because If you continue to inflict pain and injury and on your wares every time, and you are punished, by the time we do it 4 times, we'll take you out of business, and you have to look for something else to do. So it's a new dawn, and we are putting that on the front burner right now. You will soon begin to see us in buses arresting people, because medicine is not. There are designated places where medicine are supposed to be sold. Anywhere, just as the way we spoke about where medicine should be cleared from, there are also places where medicine should be sold, and there are some people also who cannot handle medicine. All of those things, distribution channels, we are working on it, and we're going to make sure that Nigerians have a better deal this time.
Somebody is going to learn nursing from a patent medicine shop. How can you learn nursing? How to inject people from that level? I have seen that several places around. Apart from even that one, the issue is of your treatment. That's why I say resistant. Because where they are buying, naturally, you should have given them this, because drugs, that is when we say drugs that are genuine drugs are very expensive. Let us be sincere. Go all over the world, any part of the world you travel, you see, if you are buying drugs, mostly they don't always have adulterated drugs like Nigeria. You find out that their drugs are always expensive. Why can't you find the reason for that? We here, if they say this one is 5 naira, you go to the other side, you see the other one 2 naira, or 3 naira, or 1 naira. And we prefer everywhere. So these are reasons. If the drugs you are buying, sometimes the resistance we're talking about, if you are doing treatment, of course, I'm not a pharmacist, but at least I did environmental resource, and the environmental resource, we're also going towards that direction. You understand what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is, you haven't been doing your test. That's what we culture, because you know which drug you are resistant to, and which drug you are supposed to apply or administer to yourself. You just go and have malaria result or typhoid. You say you can just use any drug to treat yourself. It's not possible. That's why I say resistant. Because why I say I mentioned that is just because anytime I run a test, because I do comprehensive anyway, after 6 months, and I will ask for, after having done their culture, they will know what I should take, if at all I have any ailment in me. That's just why I say you are. You just mentioned that we're going to hand over to you. So, in the spirit of that collaboration, MOU signed by Nigeria Customs Service and the NAFDAC, I so hereby hand over this on behalf of Nigeria Customs Service.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Then we'll now continue the handing over process.